Good evening, everybody, and welcome in here on the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth, as always, is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. We are live at Kern Raceway with a League of Outlaws IMCA style modified division. A little bit of a different setup tonight. They kind of opened things up, allowed some other drivers to partake, and it's free entry tonight. So 19, I think maybe 20 cars strong tonight here at Kern Raceway. Should put on some good racing. Jerry Walford, hot lap hero, best lap time at a 15:10. And it looks like Jared Murphy had a 15:12, right close behind him. Let's see, 3 minutes on the clock. Qualifying is going to go by fast, so we'll try to take a look at some of these drivers as they work their way around the racetrack for their qualifying efforts. Chad Boone, Jacob Denny, Parker Hendricks, Tyler Bickford, Aiden Schulte, Bryce Terry all on the racetrack. We're checking out the number 4 machine of Chad Boone. Got chrome pink wheels and a chrome number 4 also in pink on that race car. Looking pretty good around Kern tonight. See, lap 1 for Chad Boone, 16:32. Aiden Schulte at 16:78. Jacob Denny just popped up there. Tyler Bickford just went to the top of the board at a 16:15. Good lap for him on his first one. Let's see if Chad's able to pick up here on lap number 2. He does improve to a 16:16, 100th behind Tyler Bickford. Nicholas Hovey, car 18, working his way around the racetrack. Jesse Smith, Matt Pridgeon, Thomas Levister all out there as well. Things happened quick in qualifying here in iRacing. Lap 1 for Nicholas. It's going to be a 16:26 for him. Let's see if he's able to improve here on lap 2. That's good for a top 5 for now. Comes across the line here. Just a little bit slower, so he's going to stay in 5th for now. Here's the driver we always keep our eye on here with the League of Outlaws. James Murphy's on the racetrack. Jerry Walford just ran a 16:09 to pop up to 2nd. Lap 1 for James at a 16:23. That's good for 6th quick at this point. Gonna work the bottom here in 3 and 4. And across the line, let's see if he's able to pick up on his 2nd lap. Just a tick slower, so James Murphy goes 6th quick. Corey Gordon goes up to a 16:10. Let's see, this league owner, AJ Hunsinger. Now he's coming around to complete his first time lap. Lap 1 for AJ's 16:45. Again, that's 16:45, 11th quick. Lap 2, does he improve? He does to a 16:33. Moves right into the top 10. Sean Fullwood, into the wall here on his first lap. That's going to hurt lap number 1 for sure. Trying to see if anybody else is on the racetrack. It looks like Sean's probably one of the last drivers on the racetrack. He went 23rd quick. So Tyler Bickford, quick time tonight in qualifying at a 16:08. And we're going to roll right into heat racing action now. Heat number 1, starting lineup's going to look like this. Row 1's going to be Tyler Bickford and Jared Murphy. Row 2, Nicholas Ovey and Zach Stroop. Row number 3 is going to be Parker Hendricks and Mason Lawson. Well, Tim, I know you got that cheat sheet handy. How many drivers are going into or transferring from this first heat?
I would assume everyone, because I am not. It's showing 0 to the feature, so I'm just gonna assume everyone makes it.
All right, that sounds good. I mean, 21-ish drivers entering into tonight's festivities, so I would think as well, everybody will get a chance to run tonight's feature. series regular Tyler Bickford, Jared Murphy is going to be on the front row in this first heat race. Bickford's going to be the control car to start us off here. He accelerates, green flag goes in the air, and we are racing in heat number 1. They barrel down into turn number 1 side by side. That's the 18 machine. Now he clears the 2 of Zach Stroop. Nicholas Hovey goes into third. Everybody's hunting the bottom except for Mason Lawson. Almost loses the car out of turn number 4. He's able to gather it back up though. Be careful, the 2 makes contact with the 18 there in the middle of 1 and 2. But they keep going straight for now. Parker Hendricks working up on the cushion, trying to take advantage of those 2 on the inside. Not quite able to do anything that time. Bickford trying to set sail on the rest of the field, already out to 3/4 of a second over Jared Murphy. Nicholas Hovey, Zach Stroop still unsettled for that 3rd position. Looks like Mason Lawson pulled it into the pit lane for now, so that just leaves 5 cars remaining in heat number 1. Oh, Jared kind of moved up there, Tim, into the middle, and I think that almost cost him.
Yeah. These cars are sliding a lot more than I think we're used to. It might be just the track is just wore away extremely fast.
Yeah, it's looking pretty slick out there for sure here tonight. The 18 went all the way up to the fence. That almost cost him the 3rd place position, as he is really under fire from Zach Stroop and that white, green, and black machine. Stroop going to go on the bottom once more, try to make that pass. He's level with him out of turn 4. They make contact.
Tyler takes the white flag as he comes down into 3 and 4 the last time for this heat.
Yeah, to the checkered flag, Tyler Bickford wins heat 1. Jared Murphy going to be 2nd. Nicholas Hovey 3rd. Zach Stroop 4th. Parker Hendricks going to be 5th. Mason Lawson's going to get credited with the 6th spot here in our first heat. Again, if you're tuned in here with us on the Buckeye Racing Network, welcome in. We're always happy to have everybody. Let us know in the chat who you're pulling for, and if you're new here for the first time, welcome in. Heat race number 2, gridding up now. Jerry Walford and Jacob Denny is going to be row number 1. Row 2 is going to be A.J. Hunsinger and Bryce Terry. Row number 3 is going to be Joshua Hess and Johnny Wood Jr. All right, looks like 6 cars going to start. Maybe. Looks like Johnny Wood Jr. and Joshua Hess haven't gridded up yet. Just Jerry Walford, A.J. Hunsinger, and Bryce Terry up to this point have gridded. Wait to see if the others decide to join in. Well, the pace truck's going to roll. Jerry Walford, Bryce Terry, A.J. Hunsinger are going to be the only 3 starters. Jacob Denny, Joshua Hess, Johnny Wood Jr. not going to make the call here in heat race number 2. Well, Tim, what do you say you bring us to the green flag here to kick off heat number 2?
Jerry Walford coming out of the exit of 2, slowly makes his way through 3, and he is going to fire away. AJ Hunsinger gets a good launch, pulls right up into 2nd. Maybe a little contact with Bryce Terry getting a little crossed up, possibly. I don't know. But looks like Jerry Walford starting to get attacked by AJ Hunsinger. AJ's just able to get that car a little closer to that bottom on the entry. We also have a car that has joined us, and the further back in the pack is Jacob Denny.
Yeah, he joined in, so that adds 4 into this second heat race. He started from the pit lane, and I'll tell you, Jerry Walford's looking strong, running the bottom, just turned the fastest lap of this heat. Starting to gap AJ Hunsinger almost out to 0.7 of a second. It's about an equal gap from that back to Bryce Terry. Jacob Denny trying to reel them all in, about 4 seconds back from Jerry Walford, our race leader. But again, for sure, the bottom side of the racetrack has been king up to this point. We've seen drivers move up to the top to try something, but cars kick out a little too much and they spin the wheels and lose some momentum. AJ's kept the gap about the same the past couple of laps. He's within striking distance of Jerry. AJ sends it hard into turn number 3 and lets the car kind of slide up to the outside. White flag goes in the air one more time around in heat 2. Jerry going to hit the bottom here through 3 and 4. To the checkered flag, Jerry Walford wins heat 2. AJ Hunsinger second. Bryce Terry's going to be third. Fourth's going to go to Jacob Denny. Joshua Hess, Johnny Wood Jr. did not start, and they're going to be credited with 5th and 6th here in heat race number 2. Gridding here for heat number 3. Row 1 is going to be Corey Gordon and Brandon Bolton. Row 2 is going to be Thomas Levister and Aiden Schulte. Row 3 is going to be Benjamin Wirt and Sean Fullwood. Row 4 is going to be Gene Beadle. Well, looks like almost everybody's gridded. Corey Gordon is the only one we're waiting on, but the other 6 fellas have gridded up, so we're just waiting on him. Some of these drivers are a bit antsy. Looks like Corey Gordon not going to make the call. That's going to move Thomas Levister up to the inside of the front row.
I believe he'll be the control car as well.
Yeah, I would think so. So series regular Thomas Levister on the inside of the front row now. To his outside's Brandon Bolton. Row 2 is going to be Benjamin Wirt and Aiden Schulte. Aiden Schulte is a series regular.
Oh,
my goodness, I'm not sure what happened to Gene. He already having an issue under the pace laps, so I'm sure the admins are going to be keeping an eye on that 21 machine. Field is 2 by 2. Thomas Levister steps on the gas and green flag goes in the air. Oh my, Brandon Bolton really drove it in. Uh-oh, big issue for Benjamin Wirt in the 12. And the 21 now has issues on the left front of that machine. Benjamin having a bit of a problem. He's going to go ahead and tow it into the pit lane. Thomas Levister, Brandon Bolton still 1 and 2. Third's now Aiden Schulte. He's running alone. Then behind him, Sean Fullwood. Then there's another gap back to Gene Beadle that's got a broken left front on that race car. And we've kind of single filed out. 4 cars still running. Gene Beadle and Benjamin Wirt in the pit area for now. And we got an equal spacing between our top 4. Levister, Bolton, Schulte, and Fullwood. 4 laps down and 4 to go here in heat race number 3.
Levister running the middle.
Oh, Aiden Schulte, big problem. Almost, that car was completely sideways in the middle of 3 and 4, and I don't know how he kept it off of Sean Fullwood, but he did gather it back up. Going to continue running in 4th. Sorry to cut you off there, Tim.
No, it's all good. I caught it out of the corner of my camera, so I'm glad you got it. But as I was saying, Thomas Levister running the middle, not really sliding anywhere, just consistently running that middle. Brandon Bolton really taking shallow entries here. That was the checkered flag right there.
Yeah, Thomas Levister brings home the heat win there. Brandon Bolton, Sean Fullwood, Aiden Schulte. The car's running. Benjamin Wirt in the pit lane, along with a couple others.
That was some interesting lines being used for sure.
Yes, it was. And this is going to be heat number 4, right? Yeah. Row 1 is going to be Chad Boone and James Murphy. Row 2, Matt Bridge and Jesse Smith. Row 3 is going to be Brock Tolbert and Andrew Regal. Chad Boone's going to be the control car. James Murphy on the outside of the front row. That's series regular. Uh-oh, be careful. Matt Pridgeon in row 2 on the inside. That's series regular as well. Jesse Smith is a new name. As far as I know, Brock Tolbert, Andrew Regal not going to make the call, it looks like, in this 4th and final heat. Looks like 4 cars for 8 laps here. Chad Boone brings us through 3 and 4. He accelerates. Everybody goes with him. Green flag in the air for our 4th and final heat of the night. Look at James Murphy powering on the outside. He goes to the lead right around Chad Boone. Matt Pridgeon was battling Jesse Smith. I think Jesse Smith had an issue as he's no longer visible, so just 3 cars running here.
Oh, big contact between the leaders.
Yeah, Chad Boone did get into turn 1 and make contact with James Murphy, but for now, James is putting a little bit of a distance between himself and Chad.
Going back to that, the start of that race, I believe that was the first time tonight that someone was able to keep pace off the initial launch and make the pass going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely. James, of the 4 heats we've had, was the only one that was able to start on the outside and pass going into turn 1. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go forward to see if anybody else is able to do the same. But so far, James has been the only driver able to do so. Chad Boone sticking very tough in 2nd. He's not letting James scoot away too far as the gap's now only 4/10 of a second. Matt Bridgen trying to keep pace with those two with just 2 laps to go. Our top 3 evenly spaced out. James Murphy enters in the middle, drops the car down low to the line, and wins heat race number 4. Chad Boone's going to be second. Matt Bridgen is going to be third. Jesse Smith credited with 4th. Brock Tolbert, Andrew Regal 5th and 6th here in our final heat race of the night. All right, this should be the B main, right, Tim?
This is the D main.
The D main?
Yes.
With James Murphy in it?
That is what my cheat sheet is showing. It's showing 8 to the feature.
Okay, a little bit thrown off, but nonetheless, row 1's going to be Tyler Bickford, James Murphy. Row 2, Brandon Bolton, Bryce Terry. Row 3, Zach Stroop, Brock Tolbert. Row 4, Gene Beadle.
So everyone in this main will make it to the feature.
Well, I just a tad bit thrown off, you know. Bickford Murphy had good heat races, so I'm not sure of the scoring. Maybe an iRacing glitch, unsure. Brandon Bolton, Brock Tolbert not making the call, so 5 cars here going to start. Tyler Bickford accelerates. Green flag goes in the air. Look at James Murphy. Great restart. There, he's trying to hold tough on the outside, but Bickford, the inside's going to prevail for him. But Murphy with the momentum down the back straightaway and into turn number 3.
Almost going 2 for 2. Big contact with him and the number 2 machine of Zach Stroop. I believe I may have butchered that, but
Bryce Terry looking to the inside of Gene Beadle. That's a battle for 4th. Move Terry into 4th. Beadle back to 5th. Stroop up into the outside wall in turn 4. He gathers it back in, but he's under fire now from the 8 machine of Bryce Terry. Bickford rolling the inside as well as James Murphy. Bryce Terry looking to complete the pass on Zach Stroop. They make contact getting into turn 1. The 21 up over the nose of the 8. I think the 21 has terminal engine damage. He has to tow to the pit lane. That leaves 4 cars running. Bickford, Murphy, 0.6 of a second apart. Zach Stroop, 3 seconds back. Bryce Terry also entered the pit lane. So that leaves just 3. Bickford, Murphy, and Stroop. I guess it could be Stroop. I'm not entirely sure.
I will say Murphy looks like he's running a combination of just different lines, trying to see if he can find something possibly for that feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Chessing different things out. Doesn't hurt here. Bickford's been strong. They've put plenty of gap back to the third place car of Zach Stroop. Almost 7 now. It is 7 seconds. Just a couple laps to go. Tyler Bickford's going to take the white flag here in this D main this time. Bickford, Murphy, and Stroop with a bit of an issue in 3 and 4. Checkered flag goes in the air. Tyler Bickford wins the D main. James Murphy's going to be second. Here comes third place Zach Stroop out of turn 4 and across the line. That's going to finish out this D main. This should be the C main, correct?
This is the C main. We have 8 drivers in here. They will all make it. Looks like the B main is the only one with 9 drivers listed, and 8 will make it to that feature.
All right. The starting lineup here in the C main: Jerry Walford, Jared Murphy, row 1, Chad Boone, Sean Fullwood, row 2, row 3, Jacob Denny, Parker Hendricks, row 4, Andrew Regal, Corey Gordon. And it looks like only 3 cars are going to make the call here in the C main: Jerry Walford, Jared Murphy, Corey Gordon, Chad Boone, Sean Fullwood, Jacob Denny, Parker Hendricks, Andrew Regal. Not going to make the call. Oh, be careful there, the 23. Don't jump the start. Jerry Walford accelerates. Green flag goes in the air, and Jared Murphy's going to look underneath of him, getting down into 1. Thinks a little bit better of it. Corey Gordon sailed it off into turn 1 on the outside. Tried to make something happen. And now he's into the outside wall. Walford, Murphy, and Gordon. Now Gordon has moved down to the inside to try his hand down low. See if he can catch back up to first and second on the bottom. Well, nonetheless, these guys are getting a little bit of extra practice before we roll into tonight's feature, that's for sure. Walford trying to be smooth on the bottom to the middle part of the racetrack. Murphy is following right in his tire tracks, maybe just a quarter of a car higher. As he tries to catch back up to the rear bumper of Jerry. Corey's going to try the outside here. He makes wall contact, loses a little bit more time. 6 down and 6 to go here in the C main.
Looks like that middle to maybe the middle is still working, but certainly that high lane on the cushion seems to have vanished.
Yeah, I think so. Nobody's had much luck all the way up on the cushion. It's either been down low or kind of right in the middle, low to middle part of the racetrack where people's had quite a bit of success up to this point. Walford's opened up over a second gap to Jared Murphy. Ooh, a little bit of a slip up there out of turn 4 for Jerry. Doesn't cost him too much time, though. White flag goes in the air. Into turn 3, Walford enters down low. Out of turn 4, takes the checkered flag here in the C main. Jared Murphy's going to be second. Corey Gordon, slow out of turn 4 and across the line. In third. That's going to wrap up the C main. The B main is gritting up now. Thomas Levister, AJ Hunsinger on row 1. Row 2, Nicholas Hovey, Matt Pridgeon. Row 3, Aiden Schulte, Joshua Hess. And row 4, Mason Lawson and Johnny Wood Jr. Looks like only 4 cars makes the call. That's going to be AJ Hunsinger, Thomas Levister, Matt Pridgeon, Aiden Schulte, all series regulars here in the B main. Nicholas Hovey, Joshua Hess, Mason Lawson, and Johnny Wood Jr. not going to make the call here in our B main. Again, 12 laps of distance, just like in all the other constellations. Pace truck peels off this time. Thomas Levister is going to be in control. Aiden Schulte blinks out a little bit. Green flag goes in the air and we are underway. Levister with a fantastic restart into turn 1. Aiden Schulte almost with a big time issue into turn 1, and Matt Pridgeon makes contact with him. He has to gather it back in. He loses a ton of track position and lap time there on this first lap in this B main. All the meanwhile, AJ Hunsinger putting the pressure on Thomas Levister in first. Levister moves up a little bit. Hunsinger hugs the inside. He makes up a little more ground there. He's going to be in the same position, almost level with him in the middle of 1 and 2. Levister with a little momentum down the back straightaway. Schulte almost spins that race car around in third. He has to gather it back in. Levister blinks just a bit across the line. Hunsinger, Levister, side by side drag racing down the back straightaway. Hunsinger completes that pass. Move AJ Hunsinger to the lead with 8 laps to go in this B main. Now Hunsinger kind of moves up the racetrack a bit. Levister tries to turn back underneath of him. Not able to do it this time. But he's still within striking distance. Half distance in this B main. These two have opened up a 2-second advantage over Aiden Schulte and a 4-second advantage back to Matt Pridgeon. One thing's for sure, Tim, these drivers, you got to say, so disciplined to run the inside. Throttle control is very key to be able to do that in these race cars, especially with this IMCA style setup.
Yeah, well, not only that, I think you have to be even more disciplined with the way this track has turned out. Looks like it's only about a one-lane track right now. I haven't seen much passing. We haven't seen the outside develop, and maybe it has developed and just kind of washed itself away over time.
Yeah, and you know, just echoing what you're saying, you know, we haven't seen a ton of passing. When we do, like even AJ's pass, he used the inside to get around Levister as he tried to move up the racetrack. White flag this time in the B main, but it seems to be a one groove racetrack up to this point tonight, especially with how slick it has gotten. Checkered flag goes in the air. AJ Hunsinger wins the B main. Thomas Levister is going to be second, Aiden Schulte third, and Matt Pridgeon crosses the line in fourth. Those four will move on into tonight's main event, along with all the others that race in the consolation races. Looks like we're going to have a quick 5-minute warm-up session. No, we're going to go ahead and negate that and roll right into feature action here tonight. The checkered flag already waving. The admin's deciding to move right into the feature. We'll look at a starting lineup for our 50-lap main event here. Row number 1 is going to be Tyler Bickford and Jerry Walford. Row 2, AJ Hunsinger and James Murphy. Row 3, Jared Murphy and Thomas Levister. Row 4, Zach Stroop, Corey Gordon. Row 5, Aiden Schulte, Bryce Terry. Row 6, Chad Boone and Matt Pridgeon. Row 7, Gene Beadle and Sean Fullwood. Row 8, Nicholas Hovey and Brandon Bolton. Row 9, Jacob Denny and Joshua Hess. Row 10, Brock Tobert, Parker Hendricks. Row 11, Mason Lawson and Andrew Regal. And that's going to round out the field of 22 here tonight. And I don't think many of them is making the call. It doesn't look like. Looks like 11 cars has made the call. Tyler Bickford, Jerry Walford, AJ Hunsinger, James Murphy, Jared Murphy, Thomas Levister, Zach Stroop, Corey Gordon, Bryce Terry, Aiden Schulte, and Matt Pridgeon are going to start. The feature here tonight. 50 laps is a long time, Tim. Buckle the seat belt and settle in.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to have James Murphy, who started on the outside, and he'll be in that second row. And AJ will be on the inside. Those two were able to make a pass in their mains to win the race.
Absolutely. The green flag is in the air. Tyler Bickford already has pressure from the 6 machine of Jerry Walford. AJ Hunsinger right there in third. James Murphy fourth. Fifth is Corey Gordon and Thomas Levister. Almost a moment with Zach Stroop out of turn 4 the last time, but he was able to gather it back in. Bryce Terry is looking at his inside, battling for 10th. Back up front, Tyler Bickford trying to separate himself from Jerry Walford. He's out to almost a half a second. AJ Hunsinger is getting pressured from the 65 machine of James Murphy. As most everybody is running the inside.
Yeah, it looks like the only one electing to run up near the cushion is Zach Stroop in that 2 machine. And I say that, you can go a little further up and Corey Gordon runs up in the cushion in 1 and 2.
Looks like Matt Pridgeon, just a quick note on him. He had to visit the pit lane before we even went green, so he's currently 11th, a lap off of the pace of Tyler Bickford. Walford right there, still putting the pressure on Tyler Bickford. A little bit of a gap back to A.J. Hunsinger, James Murphy. Jared Murphy right there as well. Corey Gordon up to the cushion. Got to be careful, though. He's going to be under fire from the 22 of Thomas Levister. AJ slipped up off of the bottom ever so slightly there out of turn 2. James Murphy was able to stick his nose in just a little bit, but he settles in right behind AJ for now. Because as you know, these four are running pretty close. AJ, James, Jared, and Corey. If you try to make a move to the inside of somebody and have to jump out of the throttle for any reason, then the guy behind you is going to be looking to make a move. Big moment between AJ and James as they got into turn number 1. James now looking on the outside of AJ. AJ kind of moves up, runs James almost out of racetrack. Now he's under fire from brother Jared. Almost losing the 4th position. Corey Gordon's right there as well, trying to take advantage of that.
Interesting note here. I believe these cars do not have the rear view mirror enabled for this league. When you make a move, you certainly have to be on your tippy toes when you think you are about to be in a battle.
Absolutely. As a driver, if you've never driven without that rear view mirror, it is a different level of discomfort, I must say, because I've done it and I'm so used to using it in the sim. And if you don't have it, you realize just how much you actually rely on that for your own positioning, to see if anybody's on your outside and all of those things. So these drivers do have to be extra careful when they're racing around one another. Tyler Bickford still looking strong, up to 0.6 of a second now over Jerry Walford. They're going to be catching lap traffic here shortly. Is Zach Stroop. Oh, he's got big problems. Left front broken. Oh, he turns down right in front of Jerry Walford. A.J. Hunsinger and Walford, big collision into turn 1, bringing the first yellow flag out of the night. And all of that started due to Zach Stroop having his issues out of turn number 4. Taking a look at the 31 machine of Hunsinger, you see the 2 bounce off the outside wall, tries to turn down into the pit area. Walford makes heavy contact with the 2 and loses a bunch of momentum. Hunsinger, he's going to try to take advantage of the situation. Walford kind of chops his entry off, and Hunsinger, they both make contact and go directly towards the outside wall. Looks like Hunsinger was able to keep the car from making contact with the wall, but Walford, kind of in a double whammy situation there, has even more damage from that accident. Hunsinger, Walford, both in the pit lane for service.
It was interesting that we brought the rear view mirror up. I believe that was a cause of that, not being able to see where everyone is.
Yeah, I mean, Stroop was just probably trying to turn that car out of the leader's way and then didn't realize that Walford was as close as he was to him. ends up making contact and causing quite a big issue with Walford and Hunsinger getting into turn number 1. Walford still in the pit lane with lengthy repair, it looks like. Now he's able to exit, rejoin back in the 10th position.
Well, guess who finds him on the outside of the leader? James Murphy. He was able to make a couple passes on the outside on the start. Let's see if he can do it here on Tyler Bickford. As Bickford leads us through 3 and 4, he's on the loud pedal. Murphy holds even with him through 1 and 2. They're still just about even. Bickford trying to clear him. James Murphy powers right back through 3 and 4. Contact behind, 3 wide, huge contact. James Murphy leads that lap.
Oh my calamity in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Levister, Bryce Terry come to a stop. Yellow flag going to be displayed once again. We'll go back and try to decipher this. They all but wrecked coming out of turn 4 right here. Levister, Terry, and the 23 of Gordon all but wrecked right there. And they get down into turn 1, and Gordon hops up over the inside berm. The car takes flight, and his car just goes straight into the 22 and the 8, sending the 22 around and the 8 into the outside wall. Pretty good hit for the number 8. The 22 was able to get back going, but the 8 with damage on the left front made it pretty tough to get that car back going. So yellow flag being displayed once again.
Pace car goes down in to pit road. James Murphy will lead us to the green. Bickford is going to be on the outside with Levister behind him. It's going to be the Murphy brothers on the inside.
Yeah, James Murphy now moves to the race lead. Jared Murphy, Tyler Bickford battling side by side down the back straightaway. Bickford in the middle part of the racetrack. Jared Murphy down low. A little contact there, but the Murphy brothers 1 and 2 now. Tyler Bickford's now back in third. Thomas Levister finds himself on the outside looking in of a podium spot. Aiden Schulte, Jerry Walford, Matt Pridgeon makes a bit of contact. AJ Hunsinger is going to look to take advantage of that. It's just 8 cars remain. Schulte, Pridgeon, Walford. Contact coming out of turn number 4. Schulte is struggling just a bit, almost loses the car into 1 and 2. He makes contact with Pridgeon. Pridgeon, Hunsinger, Walford, all moves by Schulte. Back up front, James Murphy out to 0.8 of a second advantage over his brother. Tyler Bickford's trying to regroup, settle in, and get back up and challenge, at least for the second spot, with Jared Murphy. So we are now past the halfway point in our feature event. Closest battle besides our top 3, Walford and Hunsinger back here for 5th and 6th. 7th is Matt Pridgeon. Jared Murphy and Tyler Bickford, our other closest battle on the racetrack, for 2nd. But as the night is somewhat drawing to a close, it's no surprise to see James Murphy out front leading the way here. Thomas Levis are all kind of in a bubble there in fourth, as he's got a bit of a gap ahead of him and behind him. Walford, Hunsinger, Pridgeon still pretty close together. That's fifth, sixth, and seventh. Yeah, with as slick as this racetrack is, it's just been tough to pass. You see, Bigford was able to enter lower there than Jared Murphy, but wasn't able to do too much with it. Murphy had a little better momentum in the middle and was able to pull back away by a car length and a half. As James Murphy is just over a second advantage lead to his brother Jared. Lap times between our top three are all pretty close together. Really, our top four are all within a couple of tenths of one another, or a couple of hundredths, excuse me, of one another. So really, really close lap times.
Yeah, it's as we're closing in to 10 to go. Pretty rough track, extremely slick. You can just see these guys wanting to hold that bottom, but just slide up.
Yeah, absolutely. And checking on the battle for the fifth position. Walford is holding on for dear life. Hunsinger gets a peek to his inside, kind of. They slap doors there out of turn 4. Walford's going to remain in fifth for now. Hunsinger trying to regroup, challenge him once again.
Just a little rub to let him know he's here and he wants to make that pass.
Well, Hunsinger has the nose that this time. Walford kind of chops him getting into 3. Hunsinger once again has a peek. He gets through the center really, really well there. Maybe he's going to try to move up here and pass Walford on the outside. Oh, they're hitting once again. Walford not wanting to give up the 5th spot as he gets the car sideways and gets a little help from Hunsinger. Move AJ into 5th. Matt Pridgeon says thank you very much. He moves right into 6th. Walford goes ahead and pulls the car back behind the pit wall. Move Aiden Schulte into 7th. Back up front now, 7 laps to go for James Murphy. Jared Murphy, Tyler Bigford 2nd and 3rd, almost now 2 seconds back of James. Well, once James was able to get to the lead, he has not looked back. Tyler Bigford led early. We got a couple of yellows back to back, and James was able to take advantage of those restarts. Jared was as well. He was able to get by the 07 machine of Tyler Bigford. And that's been our top 3 for most of the evening. Thomas Levister's pretty quietly riding in the 4th position. A little bit further of a gap back to AJ Hunsinger. Matt Pridgeon in 6th, Aiden Schulte In 7th, just going 1 lap down to leader James Murphy. Just 2 laps to go at the line. Now Jared Murphy has moved off the bottom just a little bit. Or excuse me, James. White flag going in the air. Chalk, another win. I think it's 3 in a row for James Murphy out of turn 4. Winning tonight at Kern Raceway. Brother Jared's going to be 2nd. Rounding out the podium is going to be Tyler Bickford. Thomas Levister is going to be 4th. AJ Unsinger 5th. Matt Pridgeon in 6th. Aiden Schulte in 7th. 1 lap down. Other cars running. But in the pit lane, Jerry Walford, Bryce Terry, Corey Gordon, and Zach Stroop. That's 8th through 11th. Well, our top 3, we'll get to talk to them in just a moment. We'll be right back after we pay a couple of bills. All right, everybody, welcome back here. We're going to get to talk to our top 3. We're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher, Tyler Bickford. Hey, Tyler, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy? Tyler Bickford, you got a copy?
Hello?
Tyler, you got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool.
It's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. Man, you bring that car home in 3rd. You led laps early here and had a couple of caution flags that didn't go your way. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I knew I would be there, but I knew James and those boys would be faster than me. It happens. It's racing. It was a good race.
Yeah, good racing between you guys up front and a solid 3rd place finish for you here tonight. Tim, you have anything to ask Tyler?
Yeah, you led the first 18 laps. You get that yellow. What are your thoughts on the restart? In terms of the grip, and do you think you could have done anything different to hold them off?
Uh, just couldn't give it on the tires coming off of Ford. James got a good run.
Yeah, absolutely. Tires and the slick racetrack made it tough to pass here tonight. Tyler, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
Just gotta thank AJ for putting this on every week and the boys putting the setups in and you guys for broadcasting. It's always been fun.
Yes, it sure has. Well, congratulations on the 3rd place finish, and we'll let you celebrate it.
Thank you.
All right, that was our 3rd place finisher, Tyler Bickford. Now we're going to get to talk to our 2nd place finisher, Jared Murphy. Hey, Jared, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Another great run for you tonight in the series, bringing it home in the second place position. A couple of yellows came out, and you were able to take advantage of those on the restarts. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Yeah, well, League of Outlaws decided to open the entry up this week to try to get some more people involved. We had definitely had more people tonight. I feel like I had pretty good people in there. We had some good racing. Yeah, the restarts was yeah, you got to get all you can get on the restarts because there's hardly any passing right here on this track. So I mean, I just took advantage of the restarts and kept it clean.
Yeah, absolutely. A great run there in second. Tim, you have anything to ask Jared?
Yeah, throughout the night we were talking about how slick it was. When did it become the most important to try and watch your throttle inputs and your steering inputs?
I'd say qualifying. I mean, in qualifying, I went out there and I got a little too hot on the gas pedal and it set me back for the rest of the night. So I committed to the bottom and just rode around and saved my tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared, before we let you go here tonight, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank y'all for the broadcast, the League of Outlaws for all their work, AJ Huntsinger for the rap, and Talking Dirt.
All right, Jared. Well, we appreciate you getting a word in here with us, and we'll let you celebrate that second place finish.
Thank y'all.
All right, now we're going to talk to race winner James Murphy. Hey, James, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You bring that car home into victory lane once again. I believe that's 3 in a row for you here in the series. How does that feel?
Feels good. I mean, I got pretty lucky tonight. I ain't gonna lie. The restarts really helped me, and I hate to see AJ and I think the six car got together right there on the first caution, kind of ruined their races. I hate to see it, but I was able to get lucky tonight, so I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you brought up the restarts. I've talked to the other two guys about them. Those two restarts that came out worked wonders for you to get you to the lead, and then you just stayed there and did your thing out front.
Yeah, it's hard to pass here, and so the restarts was everything. I got out front, and I was just trying to hold a steady line and keeping it straight, and save the tires a little bit, and it was you could race a little bit on the restarts, but once you got single fired out, you just couldn't put it beside nobody. They didn't know you was there, and it's just hard racing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, you have anything to ask James?
Yeah, how key was uh saving the tire, and your brother said that he knew that it was going to be a rough one from qualifying. Uh, when did you feel like your tires were going away in the feature, and how difficult was it to launch evenly with the leader? I mean, you've done it. You did it. I think it was like 2 out of the 3 times, maybe 3 out of the 4 times. You were able to make the pass around the outside on the restart.
Yeah, I mean, if I can just, I'm on a single monitor, so it's a little difficult. But if I can get a good launch and I can get able to get into turn one beside him, I could get a pretty good runner, come off a two, and clear it most of the time. And the tires, I felt like they started going away by halfway in, so I kind of slew it down a little bit and stayed the car straight. And I mean, I qualified like crap tonight, so I was lucky to get to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And 3 wins in a row for you here tonight, or 3 wins in a row for you in this series. Before we let you go, James, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting and everybody with the League of Outlaws and AJ Hunsinger with the rap and Talking Dirt.
All right, James, we'll let you celebrate that victory, and we appreciate you getting a word in here with us.
Appreciate it. See y'all.
All right, Tim. Well, as we begin to wrap things up here tonight from the Kern Raceway, what are your closing thoughts?
Uh, just the talent pool that you see in this sim uh, is just absolutely amazing tonight. We seen some tempers flare, but these drivers just put their heads down and got to work.
Yes, they absolutely did, and the challenge was real. The track was slick, and it kind of was a one-lane racetrack, so restarts were everything, as we heard from the drivers and seen on the screen here tonight. Tough battling here in round 6 for the League of Outlaws. Upcoming for us here on the Buckeye Racing Network. We'll be live again next Sunday night for round number 7 with the League of Outlaws IMCA style modified division. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.